I stayed in Savannah for a few years, a couple of years. Just kind of, I went to work for a bed and breakfast down there. Hugh and Roberta Lineberger, crazy couple from Covina, California. Crazy, crazy rich. Covina, rich. Retired and decided to do bed and breakfast, and then did it over the top. Scalamandre, went to Europe, got all the antiques, did two old 1868 houses, Italianate houses by side. It was fabulous. And they put a lot of, they left in with me. Like, it was the first vacation they'd had in years. And so I wasn't doing art at all in any way, shape, or form. And I thought art was done. I thought I was done with art. And that's when it won 4 diamonds. I got headhunted by the Ritz up here. The Ritz had just opened here in Atlanta. W.B. Johnson had just opened 2 Ritz hotels.
Downtown in Buckhead.
Downtown in Buckhead.
Right.
And I got headhunted into coming up there. And I was already coming up here on the weekends. And that's literally, I only moved because it was time for the next step. But I don't really remember. It was like, it was just time for the next step.
So no art during that period.
But no art during that period. When I got to town, I was Randall Baker. I was a waiter at the Ritz-Carlton. I did not do art. I did not do... so frustrated, I kept my journal like it was a graphic novel. And then slowly I've been doing kind of found imagery, and I was doing these stickers. And it was all clip art. Like, I was, I'm so grateful to have been in the last generation before printers meant you could just print whatever you wanted. I had to go through books. I had to cut up these things. I made these stickers anonymously that said Arge. By then, Arge was in play.
That was actually going to be my next question.
Okay, so by then Arge was in play, and I would do these stickers anonymously, and I would take them out and leave them at the clubs. And I remember thinking, how should I say it? Sorry. I was doing these stickers anonymously. I was leaving them at the clubs. People would get them. They turned up in Tokyo. They were going everywhere, but I was still not saying this was me. Club owners didn't like me because people would stick them on stuff, and I was using that cheap Kinko's paper, so it stuck. It stuck. The stuff's still around. And I remember I was at Backstreet's one night, and it was a Tuesday, and there was a guy. He was cute. It's a Tuesday, but he was being kind of it's a Tuesday. Come on. But the whole time he's wearing one of my stickers.
On his shirt?
On his shirt. Like, you take it out, and people would put them on like over your t-shirt. And I remember thinking, all right, well, you don't want to fuck me, but I kind of fucked you already. So, and this is a much better high than any kind of not to be crude, I'm sorry, but I remember that was a time when I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? This is far more satisfying, and not satisfying, it was satisfying in that, I created something, it had gone off without me, which is the dream. I've always said that, everything I make is my child, but I run an orphanage, so it's all got to go. And that was fun, and it wasn't long after that when at the Metro, I had discovered the Metro. I was home, Eleganza, Trina, I loved it there. Trina opened her purse one night and had a bunch of my stickers, and I said, that's me. And Tim went, no, he's funny.
And where did you come up with the Arge name itself, the amalgamation?
Well, growing up in a family full of amazing male names, Darius, Graydon, Henry, just great names, but with parents who were completely alienated from most of the extended family on either side. So we picked 2 names we've never been used for, Randall, Jonathan, which I hated both my names. And so I went by RJ for years. RJ became Arge. My friend Janice was the one who did the spelling. Somehow that Arge just became, and the one, I have one around, but the Arge that I've used for years came in the early 90s. I was doing a stick when I was doing the stickers. Some of the stickers I would just do it on a lettering or press type or whatever. And I was at Kinko's. And I would go to Kinko's overnight because the only people who work at overnight are, other people who need to steal as much as I needed to steal. So, The Arge that I use, the one that's all the copies, is from a T-shirt I was wearing, and I took my T-shirt off and photocopied the label and cut the L off. I wore a large then, and that's still the one I use. So whatever it is, Hanes or something like that. But that's where that came from.